Okay. Looks like Georgi is here.
There you go. All right. Hey, Lee.
Hello, Georgi.
Hey, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Glad to see you in here. How's it going for you? Georgi is.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Wait a minute. I'm getting an awful echo.
Oh, really? Still? Should I close the streaming application and just open Facebook?
Stand by a second here.
Okay. Let me move this fan
I was getting an awful echo in here, and
Okay.
So I think I got that fixed. I was trying to do too many things at once.
All right.
Yeah, you can share that link I put on the Race Across the RAM forum or on my page for your friends. And,
All right.
Hey, I see Greg Zuber in here. Hi, Gregory. Goodness sakes. Yeah, it was a problem here on my end. Gregory is the voice of the Ohio Ram show. Maybe if you hang around a little bit, Greggy, maybe I'll pull you in here. You can say, welcome to the Ohio Ram show. He's so good at that. So let's get you a couple more messages here. I don't know if you saw them or not. Larry is in here. Can you see the messages?
Yeah.
Okay. And Spiegel Bikes is in here, wishing you well.
Yes.
Thank
you.
The whole team.
Vesna and the whole team. Thank you.
Hey, I saw those beautiful frames that they sent the Boathlings. My goodness. Those are wonderful. Barry's in here again. James Golding is in. And he says, I'm here. Good. Well, we'll be glad to hear from you off and on. Nancy Guth is here. Great job, Gregory. Hey, Nancy. It's so good to see you pop up in here. And don't you wish you were out there doing this, Nancy? Yeah.
Not virtually.
Yeah. Okay. So according to this, I don't know what you're showing, but I'm showing that you are about
10 miles. 10 miles out.
1509. About 19 kilometers, which would be 11 miles, something like that. Doug Chivington's here. Hi, Doug. Says keep on going. Doug is going to be doing a north to south. No, south to, I don't know. Which way are you going, Doug? South to north and north to south to set the Ohio record here.
Nice.
And for his age group.
Very nice.
So Georgi looks good for 3.5 days on the bike. How do you feel, Georgi?
I don't feel as good. The biggest problem for me has been just controlling my core temperature. And there's no other way of controlling it but lowering the intensity, cold showers, ice. It's very humid. And every time I have to do any big effort, I'm overheating, even though I have 3 fans.
Yeah, well, you're getting a taste of the desert there in your house, huh?
Yeah, I would say my AC is not the best AC. If anyone ever does this, please make sure you check your AC first.
Okay. Well, Georgi, now let's get this straight. You fly the flag of Bulgaria, do you not?
Yes. I'm originally born in Bulgaria. I've been here since 2006. I still hold my Bulgarian passport, and I'm in the process of getting my U.S. citizenship. So that's coming. But specifically for this race, the other purpose is because I'm, getting some funds for Breast Cancer Foundation back home. So that's pretty much it.
Well, yeah. Before we get too close to the finish line, let's get and talk about your charity. Tell me about it and how
Sure.
can people help?
Sure. Well, initially, I was going to do a transcontinental from Brest in France to Burgas, Bulgaria. And the idea was in memory of my mom, who I lost to breast cancer 7 years ago. I wanted to give back. I wanted to give back to my country. I thought it was a great idea. So I was researching for different foundations, and I bumped into this foundation called One of Eight. The lady who runs it, it's like a TV star back home. She had breast cancer, but they just do so much, and they give out most of the donations. And what they do, actually, I'm part of this subset of the foundation that's collecting money for, what is the name of it? It's a project called Soul Sisters. They have this pink camper. And with this camper, they travel the country. They go to small towns where people don't have access to testing and any sort of medical help, psychological help, you name it, and they just do so much for the women back home. And as many know, testing is the one certain thing to prevent breast cancer. So, and then those who have breast cancer, they need some psychology, they need funds, they need help with headscarves and so on. So, I mean, they do it all, Lee. They're great.
Okay, very good. So I believe I noticed on your, I'm trying to do two things at once here, three things actually. I noticed on your Facebook page, I believe there's a way you can connect with this, isn't there?
Yes. We can add the link. Yep.
So you know Georgi's name, just look him up there on Facebook and you can find a place so you can learn more about that and so forth. Well, that's good. We always try to...
My website, s-ultracycling.com.
Okay, what is that again?
S, just like the first letter of my last name, s-ultracycling.com.
Okay. All righty. So, according to my calculations here, according to the post, I don't know how often they update, but we have you at 1511, which is 14K out.
Yep, almost there.
What's been the most surprising thing about this, Georgi?
I mean, I've been doing a lot of trainer miles because, like I said, I was training for transcontinental. Even through the pandemic, I never stopped training since March, and I put up a lot of miles, but doing something so long, being stationary and not moving at all is very tough. I mean, you don't smell the outside, you can't move, you can't swing the bike, you can't put your foot down. And you heard from many people, it's a lot of climbing. And a lot of the stages, they start with a climb and they end with a climb. So it's pretty tough. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, yeah. But yeah, mainly food, hydration, and just taking care of my body. I mean, I probably used 10 bags of ice. I did 5 laundries. I will take 5 or 6 cold showers a day. God knows how many Ensure bottles I had. at least 60. And that was the issue on day one. I had stomach issues, even though I switched to Ensure 4 days in advance. The first day was tough, but ever since then, things have been very good.
Well, Larry's asking you, how are your legs? She noticed that Joanna Sharp was having a lot of problems with her legs swelling because of the static situation.
Yeah, well, I have these compression socks, so they help. And then I have these cooling pads, M-Cools. I'm adding those. But every now and then I will stop and just elevate my legs because it's too many hours without having your legs up. So it's pretty bad.
I don't know. I was going to ask Joanna if she was wearing compression socks. I didn't get the sense that she was. So
yeah, she was pushing hard. She was going really hard.
Well, and she was sleeping 45 minutes a night. Now
Yeah.
that's Christoph Strasser style.
Yeah, that's tough. I think I mentioned somewhere yesterday. Those guys at the front. I mean, the harder you push, the more nutrition you need, and then therefore you have to digest more food, which also uses more energy. Digesting it. So it's really much harder for them. Not that it's easy for me, but
I'm sure not. Well, Spiegel Bike says how it felt to race against legend Marco Ballo.
it was awesome. He's my hero. Crew for him last year. We broke the record for 50 plus, and it was very special. I knew he's gonna go hard as usual. He's a master at the one-day races. This young guy put a big show, and honestly, I told him, Marco, maybe in 10 hours he's gonna blow up. I don't know how experienced he is. Just keep putting some pressure on him, but unfortunately, he got injured.
Yeah, there was a comment today in the, I call it the George and Rick show. And you've been on there a few times.
Yeah.
I think I ought to get together with those guys and show them how this live streaming should be done. But be that as it may. No, I didn't say that, guys. They were talking about that this morning, and they thought maybe it was more a matter of he didn't want to injure himself on this event.
Yeah.
And save himself, for other things he's got on his agenda, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I don't want to reveal what he's planning on doing later this year, but it's big, and I can understand, and I mean, kudos to Simon Poller. He's a very strong rider. He's not just anybody, and he made it really tough, for Marco. It was a great show to see together with Joanne, and then Phil came in, told me. So it was great. It was a great battle to see.
Yeah. So anyhow, Larry's talking about the pillow that Joanna had on her seat. Well, you can do that on a stationary bike. That wouldn't work very well. Oh, you got something too?
Yeah, for my bars. My hands are so beat up.
Yeah, there's just no let up to no chance to reposition or take a little different, is there?
Not really. And I mean, the one thing you can do is lift your bars, because we don't really have to be aero. If you're doing a TT, the bars are low, therefore all the weight is in the front. But I lifted my bars up, so a little better. But outside of that, just nice padding. Nothing else really you can do, but just take the pain and ignore it.
Okay. I show you 13K out at this point. I don't know how close I am with my numbers versus what you're seeing.
Yeah, I see the same thing.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Jim Lawyer is here again, and his significant other, April, is here also. I'm not sure she can hear. Hey, Jim, turn your TV off before I turn you on here, okay? Oh, I hit the wrong button there. Hey, Jim, can you hear us now?
Yeah, we can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine. Jim's up here.
Hi, Georgie.
Hey, how are you doing? You guys are doing awesome.
Very good. Thank you. You're doing the better. We're only doing the 60.
Jim is they're both doing the 60, and I think April is beating Jim at the moment.
She always beats me. She's already finished.
Look at she's just cooling down, is she?
She jumped over, riding swift now.
Wow.
Great. Well, Jim, as we said last night, is one of our time station managers. In fact, he had a lot to do with getting all of our time stations going here in Ohio, and we appreciate him. Got any questions, Jim?
Yeah, I had wanted to ask this last night, didn't get around to it. Do you have multiple bikes that you've been changing in out of, or have you been riding one bike?
You mean one bike or more than one bike?
More, yes.
Same bike, you know.
Same bike?
Yeah, I have infinity seat. There you go. And on this side.
Yep.
So the seat is awesome. But what I'm doing is I'm changing my bibs a lot. Clean
Gotcha.
bibs. And then some baby powder.
There you go.
And yeah, that does the trick, you know.
Gotcha. Did you gear pretty much so you could do climbing and flats? And not that there's many flats, I guess.
Yeah, and full gas have this slope scaling, which is very nice because some of these climbs were 20%, 18%, and I ran out of gears, you know. So I had to use that to lower it a little bit. It's really tough.
Great idea.
For my
Very
knees.
good idea. Yep.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Jim, Larry wants to know about the 60. Tell him what that is.
The 60 is for 12 days straight, you ride at least an hour. They've got 12 different segments set up for us, all of which are a lot of climbing, unfortunately for me. But there's one that's fairly flat that's like day after tomorrow. But yesterday we climbed like 2,800 feet. And on my bike, I don't have the gears to do it, so it was tough. But we just ride 60 minutes at least a day for the 12 days that everybody else is on.
And you guys are doing the same tough courses, a lot of climbing?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot more than I expected, and I'm on a compact 1123. So it's tough.
Yeah. And it starts with a climb and it ends with a climb, right?
Yeah, most of them do. There was, I think today it finishes like maybe a mile downhill, but that's it.
Yeah.
A lot tougher than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
I guess confidence.
Now, Larry wants to know, you said you lifted your bars that during the race or before?
Before. I was anticipating, some modifications so I can be more comfortable. So I knew my bars were too low. For outside it's great, but indoor, I wasn't gonna do it. Or all the weight was gonna be too low, and I was gonna have issues. I already have damaged nerve from a big race, and I don't want to risk it.
And John Bandy there says that his brother keeps telling me there's no climbing, but hey, you're riding, aren't you, John? Aren't you in the VRAW or one or the other? I think I've seen your name there. Text me and tell us the truth, John. Yeah.
He's saying you're riding, but you're not going anywhere.
Yeah. One question I have is, they do factor your weight in for the climbs, do they not?
Correct. So we had to send the weight 48 hours before the race with the video and just prove what your weight is, and they lock it in. And I think after the race, they will check all the data files and verify, make sure everything looks the way it should. So there's some sort of control.
Okay, very good. So it's not factored into your resistance, but it'll be factored in afterwards mathematically. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay, that answers that question I've been having.
Yeah, it's pretty much weight per kilo. So if you put out 200 watts, it depends, what your weight is. The lower your weight is, the bigger watts per kilo you're going to generate. And I don't even think they require any other sensors. is purely power, which you guys can see on the map. That's why weight is so important. And
Okay,
they
and-
calculate the speed based on the power.
And Joanna kept asking me about that, and we here who are the dot watchers, we cannot see that power output.
Oh, really?
Nope, we're not able to see that. Okay. Yeah, Larry says, tough, you can't coast on a downhill. And John is doing VRAW. Yeah, I've been seeing you there. So congratulations on your work, and we hope that you do well. And is that why a rider weighs during the race? No. I can answer that question. A rider weighs during the race to check on their fluid intake and output. Who was it? I had on the show, lost 5 kilo, he said, in one day. That's
not good.
That's hard to grasp. That's almost 12 pounds, or and he had a tough time replacing it. And I think Joanna, and if I heard her correctly, and by the way, if you had trouble hearing Joanna, you go to the Race Across America website, and I have put up a file that I have edited that has helped her audio quite a bit. So if you were having trouble hearing her, you'd like to hear her again, it's there, ohioramshow.com. I believe she said that she had lost 1.5 kilo, and I don't know over what span, but I didn't think she weighed much more than 2 kilo to start with. I mean, she is so tiny. Yeah. And John's saying thanks.
And what an effort by her. I want to congratulate her. And I mean, just sending a message there, and so empowering for all the women on what they're capable of doing,
Definitely.
And, we always hear about new names, all the top guys this year. I mean, they're not guys that you hear about every year during Race Across America, but, what a show.
Yeah. Well, we've had some, 2019, you might even call that the year of the woman. They put in some pretty remarkable performances. Meg Hakkinen, she broke the World Time Trial, or set a new record at the World Time Trial course there in Borrego. Jen Orr won overall at the Race Across the West. And who was that woman from Germany that just absolutely blew away the transcontinental? What was her name?
I think Fiona Kolber from Austria.
I have tried to get her on the show, and I just can't seem to make connections. If there's anybody out there that could help me do that, I would appreciate it. And we're here watching Georgi. How do you pronounce your last name? I call it Stoychev.
Yeah. And you actually pronounced the first name right. Stoychev, yeah.
Stoychev. Yep. Watching him as he is rolling into the finish of the virtual Race Across the West. And at this point, it looks like I'm showing him having about a little less than 12 kilometers to go. And he's racking them up pretty good. So if any of you out there would like to chat with him, just go on to the comment page, either on YouTube or Facebook. And in the comment section, it'll show here, and we'll post it for him.
See, Larry have more questions.
Yeah. Do you remember, Georgie, when you had a tough patch, and did the rest help? And what amount of times did you rest? And about how long were your sleeps?
Long? Yeah, there were so many. The first night, everything went according to plan. I slept hour and a half. I biked some more. I slept another hour. Perfect. The next day, can't sleep. I went down 3 times, can't sleep. The day after, same thing. So I did not sleep for 2 days after day one. So, and then I kept forcing myself, and I knew I was going to pay for it, you know. And then eventually, I overslept. I slept 4.5 hours. But when I woke up, I was so refreshed, and I had such a lead that I did not even lose my position in the rankings. So sleep is very important, you know.
There was a discussion a few years ago, a debate. I think experience has settled the debate whether you do better to sleep more and ride faster, or sleep less and go slower. And I think the people who sleep less have just won hands down.
Yeah.
Jim, were you around when they had the Endura races?
No, I was not.
They tried that one year. They thought maybe they could force people to take rests, and they had to take so many hours off the bike at certain specific time stations. I think they did it. They did it one year, and they're going to do it the second, and nobody signed up the second year, as I recall. So anyhow, and someone
Weren't they going to limit the sleep on this also? The amount of time on the bike originally?
Did you hear the question?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead again.
Yeah, I thought they were they talked about limiting the number of hours you could be on the bike originally.
Correct.
I think then they stopped that for whatever reason.
Yeah, and there was no explanation really. I think they said 20 hours a day, and you have to sleep
Right.
4 hours, I guess, for safety
Right.
purposes. But I think everyone was complaining because, you know, we're competitive. So,
Definitely.
yeah, but I learned a lot from Marco while I was crewing for him last year, and I had to make the same decision. Like 2 nights ago, I talked to him, and you know, he's encouraging me, but I told him I feel like trash, and I'm not moving at all. I think it's better for me to sleep. Even if I sleep for an hour or two, I'll come back and move so much faster that I'm not really losing that hour sleeping. I'll make it up with my speed. That's what
Gotcha.
you know.
Yeah. Do you have anybody there helping you or working with you?
Well, my wife, she will bring me ice, food, and resupply me. But other than that, she's busy with the kids. So everything's around me within hand's reach for the most part.
Excellent. Gotcha.
Okay, Monique says, "Go, Georgie, go." Is that
Yeah.
somebody? And TJ, thanks, Lee. Well, you're most welcome. This is an enjoyable thing. I won't go into a long detail about how we got here. Jim knows part of the story, maybe most of it. Larry says he followed Ram, remembers the Enduro, and says they weren't forced to sleep but had to rest a certain amount of time during the race. Actually, what it was, and I was a part of that process, there was, I think, 4 time stations, maybe 4 across the nation, where you had to stop. I believe it was 4 hours. That runs in my mind at each station. You didn't have to sleep. You could play bingo or do whatever you wanted, but you had to sign in and sign out. And we had the atomic clocks there. So people, we know we had an accurate time as to when they checked in and checked out. And our time station was in Troy at that time, Jim.
Yeah, that was before I started.
That was there at what used to be the Holiday Inn, and then Best Western, and it's at 55 and 70. 55 and 75.
Now.
Yeah. That was a great place to have a time station because you could get a hotel room and you could walk out on the balcony and see what was going on. But anyhow, that's enough of that. So that's how that worked. And I think it was 4 hours. There was a certain amount of time they had to stop at each time station. They could stop other places if they wished, but that was the thing. And they had to sign in and sign out. The crew could not do it. The writer had to do the signing. Okay, so that was that. Larry, said it favored the sprinters, if I remember right. I don't know that it favored anybody. I mean, hit a few people. Boy, it seems to me like maybe Marco Ballo. Oh boy, I shouldn't get in these memory bouts because I'm sure to be wrong. Somebody of note that whose name you would know was did the enduro, and I remember that the next year, Carrie White signed up for the enduro, but there was nobody else signed up, and she dropped out. And that was the year of the great Carrie. Well, there's a whole story behind Carrie White. I guess I won't get into it here, but that was quite interesting. She wanted to be the very first person who had type 1 diabetes to ride solo RAM. But although she went coast to coast, she did not make it. So anyhow, I don't know, Larry. You might be right. Whereas my memory is so terrible anymore. So what do we got? I am showing about 9 kilometers. We're getting darn close here. And I know Jim's got his cowboy already, haven't you, Jim?
Definitely. We got both of them right here.
Good. I got one of those that train Furnace gave us one year, and I don't know whatever happened to that thing.
Yep, I've got it up on my shelf, one of those. I forgot about it.
Yeah, that's the only one I got around here. So, you're looking forward to getting this done, Georgie? I don't know if he heard me or not. Georgie, can you hear me? I am not hearing him, and
yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you fine.
Yeah, I don't know that he's hearing us. Let's see here. While we were waiting for him, watching from Adelaide, Australia, finished stage 6 in the 60, inspired watching Ram and Royal Riders. Would like to attempt VRAW next year. How you train for such event? Ashley, I don't think there's anybody at this point considering having VRAW next year.
Definitely a lot of time on a trainer if you're not used to trainer riding.
Yeah, that's about the only thing. As they said, who was it? Eddie Merckx was a person of few words. And the news reporter trying to get a story out of him asked him the question, how do you train? To which he said, I ride a lot. Are you hearing us, Georgie?
Yes. Sorry, I had an issue with the microphone.
That's okay. I'm showing us now at 15:19.
Yep.
Again, that hasn't been updated recently.
Yeah, the last 2 stages are really flat, so really fast. Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
No problem. What kind of trainer are you on?
I'm on a Wahoo Snap.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. John, we met in 2016 during RAM. You filmed me and my partner transitioning in Ohio as a 4-man Marines for Warriors.
Yep, I remember those guys.
Yeah, you had been in Oxford at that time, wouldn't you?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, okay. 2016. I'm trying to think back. I was a young guy then.
We all were.
Okay. I'm going to go out of here for just a second while I get myself a bottle of water. I don't know what happened to my water. Oh, it's over there. It's not too far away, but I'll let Jim talk to you.
All right. Definitely. So overall, I know you said you were riding trainers to work on your other endeavor. Do you like riding trainers, or do you like riding outside better?
You know, I was totally against trainers until this year, but in order for me to prepare for a big race with pandemic and everything, it's the ideal tool because you know your coach can send your workouts through Training Peaks, and it's a controlled environment. You know, with
Definitely.
wind, terrain,
And the
and
only
power.
drawback is you don't get to coast at all. That's the bad part.
Exactly. Even though my coach does, yeah. Even though my
Go
coach
ahead.
is not totally crazy about trainers, you know, he actually would like for me to go out and simulate the same training, even though the numbers might not be exact, because you know we tend to rely too much on metrics, heart rate, power, but you can still do it outside. I think Wahoo have a function where you can do your training set there, and you can monitor your power going up and down.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Yeah, I taught a trainer class forever, and I always tell them every hour on the trainer is like 2 or 2.5 outside. You know, it's that much
Yeah,
harder.
yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but to build FTP, and I think it's great in certain environments. You know, if you don't have the opportunity to go outside, it's just great. Especially during the pandemic, everyone's been inside. All the bikes are sold. All the trainers are sold in the
Yep,
stores.
I know. It's crazy.
Everyone is
You
talking
plan on?
about virtual racing championships.
Yep, definitely. I heard that they're going to try to do some of the Tour de France on one of the training platforms.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. So that'd be kind of interesting. I don't know if they're going to do just. I know one team was talking about it, but I don't know if the rest of them are going to join on board or what.
Yeah, that's we're in the era of technology, and we have to adapt. Things are changing so fast nowadays.
Definitely. Have you had any technical problems over your ride?
No, not at all.
Excellent. That's great. Not that I
Yeah,
want to jinx you on this last little bit.
and that's another thing. You know, everyone have different setup, and you know, I think quite a few of the top guys had issues, and any minute lost, it's hard to regain. You know.
Yeah. Spiegel Bikes is asking you, do you feel that VRAW gave you a new experiences for next year transcontinental race?
Yeah, I mean, I just I normally look for a bigger and better challenge, and you know, once I complete it, it gives me great confidence that I can do something even better. And yeah, I'm looking forward to transcontinental. We still don't know how things will look next year with the virus and so on. It's in Europe,
Yep.
so but if not, why not the real RAW? It's local, and
Definitely.
why not? It's so beautiful. The most beautiful part of ramp, hands down.
That would be great.
Yeah, but it's very
Looks like
tough.
you're getting closer. Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's the
Yeah.
hilly part out there.
Yeah, last year was
Way
my
back.
first time seeing it when I was crewing, and oh boy, the desert, the heat, the climbing, it's
Yeah.
just so much of everything thrown in your face.
Which one do you like better, riding or crewing?
You know, I enjoy both. I enjoy both.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I love riding, but I truly enjoy myself crewing. I met some great people, and you know, I'm not born here, so this was great opportunity for me to see the country. I mean, we were in two different deserts, Navajo territory, places I've never been. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was so awesome. And I was with
Great.
Marco. I learned so much from him. He's such a great
Definitely
guy.
great. Yeah, he is. Very great guy.
Yep. Every single time you hand him something, he will say thank you. You know, I know many Ram racers. You know, it's a mental thing, and they get they get cranky. He's not one of those guys. He's always nice.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. I noticed there's a few of them that are very nice no matter what the circumstances,
Yeah.
and then there's other ones, like you said, that get cranky, but that comes with being tired and sleep deprived.
Yeah. I mean, after 2-3 days, I don't think they can really process all the information on their own, and the brain is not really functioning properly. So everything is down to the crew. They have to make all the decisions and so on. It's very important. I mean, I just realized how important crew is, basically.
Yeah, definitely.
Very, very important. You might be the strongest rider, but without good crew, you have no chance, in my opinion.
Yeah, I remember when Robic came through one of our time stations in Ohio. He was, totally gone, and his crew had to help him through. But he was still riding strong, but he just was not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Common saying is that a crew can't win it for you, but they can sure lose it.
Yeah,
I want to take a moment here before we get too far and give a shout out to some people. I haven't been watching who's been checking in. I don't know if they're still with us or not, but I do want to shout out to some people here. Ryan Heidenfeld's back again. Hi, Ryan. I think you live in Utah now. John, he's been here. We've been talking about him. Tracy Ann Kellis, I believe her name is. Matt Cox is with us. James Eastland. Let me scan down here. Sherry Bruner. Well, hi, Sherry. Well, Sherry, she does some house cleaning for us here. We appreciate her. You're learning a lot about this crazy old guy, aren't you, Terry? Tanya Gierzak, I guess. I hope I pronounced that right. Thanks for being here. Bill Russell, Don McDougall, Steve Savage, Barry Benson. If any of those names mean anything to you, Scott Elliott. I hope I got everybody in here who's been with us. So just wanted to cover those a little bit. And I'm showing 1522, which is 6K out, 6 kilometers out. Nancy Goose is here with us. Yes, VRAW next year. And Roger.
That's my son. Hey, Ethan.
You know what? I almost didn't put that up because I thought maybe that was a troll.
Yeah, he's not really using his real name,
Okay. Well,
video games.
A ghoul. Very good. I saw that and I thought, well, I'm not putting that up.
Yeah, that's my son. Yeah, and a lot of guys from the randoneering community. Barry Benson, Bill Russell. Great guys, I know
have you done a bit of randoneering, Georgi?
Yeah, actually, that's the main thing I do since 2000. It's pretty much 20 years, and in 2016 I switched to racing, thanks to Nancy Good and Andrea Matney. We did Calvin's Challenge, the last Calvin Challenge under the name Larry. One of the first 100 randoneers, and I think it was the National 12 that year. I finished second. It was raining for 9 hours in Ohio. It's pretty tough. I had a steel bike, but I think I did 191 miles. Pretty cool. We suffered.
Okay. And Spiegel Bike says they're looking forward to cheer for Team Bo and Babe. That's Nancy and I'm sorry, the brain is gone. Yeah, Nancy and John Guth, I believe it is. Team Bo and Babe. It sounds sexist, but that's what they chose. And I got it. If we got them, I think we got time. I got to tell a story about Nancy Guth. It was Calvin Challenge a few years ago, and I'm sitting back there at the aid station at the pit crew and pit station, and in she comes, and she's a little bit battered. It turns out I think she was about the second lap of a 50-mile loop, and she got run off a bridge, went down over the bridge, fell head first into the bottom of the river, the Little Miami River, and broke her wheel, came back. Yeah, you're right, Larry, when her wheel exploded and came back. I think she did way over 200 miles in that 12-hour race, goes home, and I hope I got the story right, Nancy, and found out she finished that race with a broken rib.
Yep.
So, Nancy, if I've got the story wrong there, well, you can tell me. But
yeah,
I never will forget that. And she was back there making sure that she got credit for the 12 miles or so she had ridden before she had the accident and had to come back and get somebody loaned her a wheel. Yeah.
so tough.
212 or 218. Yeah. Hey, I got a question, Georgie. You're talking about transcontinental. Do you like supported or crewed races? What do you prefer?
Well, transcontinental is non-supported. You know, it's similar to randoneering. I like it. I mean, for me personally, you know, I have family. I'm still young. It's hard to collect the funds to do a RAM, but I can do something unsupported like a transcontinental or Trans Am for sure.
Okay, transcontinental is across Europe, for those who don't know, and it's non-supported. The interesting thing about transcontinental, there is no specific route, but there are check stations you have to check in order. I guess there are a few places where you have to follow a specific route, just short distances. But basically, you're on your own, and when you look at the dot, if you're a dot watcher on that one, you'll see people all over the place, won't you, Georgie?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, you know. I love the idea. It's all about being independent and not accepting outside help. And the routes you name is called parcours. So it could be a section of 30 miles, for example. They want to take you to the cobblestones of Roubaix. You cannot avoid it.
There's certain spots you can't avoid.
Yeah.
And no matter, you have to ride that particular stretch of road. They're pretty short, but it's a 4,000 or 5,000 kilometer race, isn't it?
Yeah, and like you said, it's crazy because you will see guys that are light and climbers. They go for the mountains, and then you see other guys take longer route, but it's flat. So so it depends what your preference is. But the course, they're changing it. You know, it was north to south. I think Belgium to Greece. Then at one point ended in Turkey. Then they switched it west to east. They keep switching it.
Yeah, Nancy, they went on to do RAM was it a 2-person or 4-person team, Nancy? I think it was a 4-person. They kept trying to find partners. Okay, where are we at? I am showing 5:24.
Last stage.
You're getting close.
Doing great.
These things are coming in too fast for me to get posts to talk about, so I've just got to post them. Sherry Ruby Newsom, thanks you for dropping by. Some of you people that haven't put a text in that are here, hang around. 4-person, 70 plus. I know. It's just a pleasure to have known Nancy. I shouldn't put that in the past tense. What a great person, and John too. I don't want to put him, but
yeah, I'm so honored to own them. They're so strong, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And sorry for starting lately, but someone was giving me a hard time. You know, right at the end, someone decided to attack. I wasn't expecting that. And that drained all my energy. I had a little bit left in me, but the guy from Belgium, he's probably still behind me. Miguel Rolla, he attacked. I think I had 20K lead, and it went down to 14, 16. I was worried for a second. So it took me a while to recover.
He did close a little bit there, but you're in good shape now.
Yeah. Once I
What are you showing? What are you showing? We got to go, Georgie.
1.43, 1 mile and 1.43 miles. Last stage is the Golden Bridge.
You're on the Golden Gate.
Yep.
That was interesting. That's the finish there. I guess what they're doing it this way, you can finish anywhere they want, can't they?
There you go.
I guess.
Well, apparently, Larry, you and I have crossed paths more than once because you've been to Calvin Challenge.
Yeah, Nancy and John. I went on a training ride with them last year in a park down where they live in Virginia. And oh boy, I forgot what race we were preparing for. But they're just so strong, you know. I was amazed. I read an article about Calvin Challenge in 2016 in Nancy, and I was just stunned.
Yeah.
And John, every race I see John, he's just leading a pack of 20.
Yeah.
And doing all the work, all the heavy lifting. Thanks, Doug.
Yeah, I can't get all these. I can't read them all, so I'm just going to post them as they come up. We got so many people jumping in here.
Andrea. Yeah, the temperature, Andrea, never dropped below 78, 77. Even when it's cold outside, I have 3 fans, but one of the fans stopped working. And I guess I'm generating too much heat, but it's pretty hot here.
Well, let us know when you're down to about 200 or 300 or 400 meters there, so we can be sure that Jim has his cowbell ready over there.
They're right here.
1.15.
Okay, we're getting mighty close, people.
Doing great.
Just reiterate here that Georgi Stoychev is getting ready to finish the virtual race across the West, 950 some miles, 1,528 kilometers on a stationary bike. And just the finish is remarkable. And he's done a great job with it. So he's just about ready to roll across the finish line, which is on the other end of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yep. 1 mile to go.
They only let you ride that certain times of the year. Yeah, Larry Graham was running Calvin's Challenge. Did you wash your kits during the race?
Well, I think I have 5 sets, and I washed all of them. I think I changed at least 7 times.
Yeah. Well, that's important.
You know, the jersey is only for the camera, so it shouldn't get the bibs.
Well, nobody's asked you how the tush went. The backside.
Great. The Infinity Seat is it's awesome. I never had any issues whatsoever. As long as I keep that area clean, I'm good to go. No cream, just some baby powder.
Yep.
Wow. So what saddle do you have?
I have the Infinity Seat. They're one of my sponsors, Mr. Vince and Diane. Yep. And I never looked back. Ever since I started seeing guys using it at Ram. There was even guys having a special delivery midway through Ram just to save their race.
Well, Larry wants to know what you're going to do when you finish. Are you going to go to Disneyland?
I think I will avoid crowds, but I definitely will spend time with the kids. It's Father's Day, and I owe them more time. I think I've been biking, but just spend time with the kids. This is the most important thing in life.
Yeah. Well, you're getting mighty close now.
0.61.
600 meters to go.
Yep.
600 meters. You're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm not sure if I'm doing this again, you know.
Andrew says, keep riding.
Yeah, you know, if we were racing to Pagosa Springs, maybe I was gonna go and continue pushing for the guy in front of me, but I think we ran out of length. The guy was out of reach from India,
Oh yeah, yeah.
so no point burning matches chasing him. Thanks, Andrea. Andrea Matney. She's been one of the biggest supporters of mine. We have .36. I started racing with her first, Nancy, in 2016. She called me 10, 15 times. She sent me so many jokes and funny pictures and just entertained me throughout the whole time. You know, my coach, Andy Jackson, friends, family, everyone is calling. And this was the best thing, especially during nighttime, because I was going crazy.
Okay.
So, yeah, thanks, Andrea. 0.23.
230 meters. That's just two soccer fields.
It's all downhill. Woo.
There is no downhill on a trainer. Huh?
Yeah, no downhill on a trainer. Joanna said she wasn't going to come and ride in the United States because everything was uphill.
Yeah. She should come to West Virginia.
Oh,
Yes. Somewhere in Hancock.
Yes.
Not far from me. 0.2, 0.1. And now I'm getting a nice view. And I'm done.
Hey!
Great job! Yeah!
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Yep.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, don't get me started on West Virginia.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sort of from the area, so the Appalachians are not far. There's some major climbs here. I was climbing Spruce Knob, the highest point in West Virginia, 2 weeks ago. So I think this was good preparation for VRAW. It was almost 5,000 feet above sea level. And I went up, I did 16,000 in one day.
Awesome.
Ashley Gebby, I haven't seen her in here. Ashley, I haven't seen her in here before. Says congrats, Spiegel Bikes. Andrea, Gregory, I was going to get you in here to say welcome to the Ohio Ram show, but I'm sorry, Gregory, we got busy with other things. And I'm going to have some more voiceovers because we've been running so darn many shows. We run out of his voiceovers. And Larry says, big time congrats.
Thank you, Larry.
VRAM, hope your fundraising going well. I guess that must be the guys from Australia, VRAM, you think?
Yeah, you would think so, you know. I mean, if someone donates more than 200 by the end of the day, I'll send them one of my jerseys. Why not?
Okay.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good price for a jersey.
I think so.
That's the very good. Well, you contribute $200 to his cancer fund, you get a jersey. What can you beat that? And if you want to do that, you just go to Georgi's web page or his Facebook page, and you can find out how to do it there. Yeah, VRAM says they're definitely in Australia. Okay, well, very good.
Yeah, I love the interviewer for VRAM, by the way. Awesome. His videos are excellent.
Well, those guys, we want to say a big thank you. We did last night. We want to say it again to what they have done. They did an almost unbelievable thing within a matter of weeks. When RAM was announced that it was canceled, it just seemed like it was a few days before we heard that they were going to do this. And they worked night and day, and it's been really amazing. somebody is talking about doing VRAW next year. Do you think they'll do it again next year? I doubt it. Somehow, from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, they were talking about going off season like in December and doing this every year.
Well, we'll see.
They should forgive us for complaining too, you know. I know we complain a lot.
Yep. There you go.
Well, let's assess that in a month, okay? Larry says, I hope not. I mean, I assume he means I hope so we don't do VRAW again or VRAM again. Well, listen, it's no criticism of you guys over there in VRAM. My goodness. I mean, I was one of the gripers, and there's a lot of griping about the names, and hey, that's minor compared to what you put together. I mean, forget it. Thanks a lot, Georgie.
Thanks,
yeah,
everyone.
you did a great job. Proud of you, man.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks for the support.
Get that kid off. I don't know if you do a shower or soak in the tub or what you're going to do, but
yes.
and maybe are you going to be one of those guys that can't sleep then?
Yeah. Too much adrenaline.
Okay. Very good. All righty.
This is Gregory Zuber, thanking you for watching and sharing.
Music